Summer in Mara. At $2, calling this a deal feels like an understatement. You're a young girl sailing a sunny archipelago, helping animal villagers, farming, crafting, and slowly uncovering what happened to this scattered world. It's cozy in a way that reminds you of lazy Saturday mornings, but the quest lines have actual depth. Multiple islands, secret areas, a cooking system that gets weirdly addictive once you start hunting rare ingredients. People put 30 hours into this without realizing. For less than a coffee, you're getting a game that might become your stress relief ritual. Cat Mail Co. You play as a cat. That's it, a cat delivering packages across a pastel little town. It sounds like a joke you'd tell at a party, but the joke's on everyone who skips it. Gliding from rooftop to rooftop, managing routes, and uncovering little stories stashed in mailboxes feels unreasonably charming. I fired it up intending to test it for 10 minutes and blinked at 3 a.m. At just over $12, this is the perfect palate cleanser between 100-hour RPGs, and honestly, the joy of being a tiny cat on an important mission never gets old. 63 Days drops you right into the Warsaw Uprising with nothing but a handful of young resistance fighters and a plan that's already falling apart. This is real-time tactics where every move matters. One soldier spotted, one wrong step, and the whole neighborhood lights up with gunfire. The hand-painted comic book look makes it feel like a graphic novel you're desperately trying to survive. There's a permadeath mode for your squad, and let me tell you, watching a character you've kept alive for hours get cut down is haunting. For under $8, you're getting a piece of history that plays like the best stealth game you've never tried. Mika and the Witch's Mountain captures that exact childhood dream of flying a broom like Kiki, only now you're a trainee witch helping a whole island community. The flight physics feel floaty and freeing, and upgrading your broom turns simple deliveries into these serene little adventures. What surprised me was the story. It's warm, a little bittersweet, and genuinely about growing up without ever preaching. At $8.38, it's cheaper than a movie ticket and lasts a whole lot longer. You'll probably catch yourself smiling dumbly at the screen whenever you nail a perfect landing. The House of Da Vinci 3 makes you feel like a genius in a Renaissance workshop. You're solving mechanical puzzles inside ornate rooms, twisting intricate lenses, pulling hidden levers, and slowly unraveling a mystery tied to the master himself. The puzzles are smart without being cruel, the kind where you scribble notes in real life and then smack your forehead when it clicks. The atmosphere is so thick you can practically smell old parchment. $10 for a game that'll keep you up until sunrise muttering "one more room" is a ridiculous steal. Passpartout 2, The Lost Artist, puts you in the shoes of a broke painter, and you actually have to paint to make a living. Brush strokes, color mixing, the whole messy creative process. What starts as a goofy, haha, look at my ugly art simulator turns into something weirdly meditative. By hour 3, you're genuinely proud of the derpy little masterpieces you've made, and the townsfolk's brutally honest reactions make you laugh out loud. At $12.49, you're paying for a creative outlet that won't judge your stick figures too harshly. Astral Ascent is the roguelite that ruined other roguelites for me. You're a prisoner fighting your way out of a magical sky prison, building spell combos mid-run until you're unleashing elemental chaos that covers the entire screen. The combat is so crisp that missing a dodge feels like your own fault, and the boss fights are these spectacular celestial light shows that demand your complete attention. People sink 200 hours into this without blinking. For $10, you're getting a game that makes full-priced action titles feel sluggish. Mongrels doesn't ask you to be a hero. It hands you a squad of deserters and prisoners on the Eastern Front and whispers, "Survive." The tactical freedom here is staggering. Set traps, orchestrate distractions, pick off patrols one by one, or go loud and deal with the consequences. It's grim, it's relentless, and it doesn't glorify any of it. At $5 and some change, this is the kind of game that makes most AAA stealth missions feel like a guided tour. Just be ready for the weight of your decisions. Book of Hours is quietly one of the most unsettling games I own. You're the new librarian of an occult library, and your entire job is uncovering ancient secrets by arranging cards, memories, skills, mysterious books on a gorgeous wooden table. There's no combat, no jump scares, just the slow drip of forbidden knowledge and an atmosphere that makes your skin prickle. Fans call it a cozy apocalypse, which sounds contradictory until you play it. $10 for a game that makes you keep a real notebook is an experience you won't forget. Barn Finders is Storage Wars turned into a video game complete with the jank and joy you'd expect. You explore abandoned barns, dig through piles of junk, find weird antiques, and sell them in your own rundown shop. The physics can be gloriously busted. I once had a bathtub launch itself into the ceiling, but that chaos is part of the charm. Watching a rusty old sign net you $200 hits a deeply satisfying note. For $5, this is the ultimate junk hunting fantasy with zero real-world clutter. Ancestors Legacy isn't your typical RTS. The camera sweeps right into the mud and blood of a Viking raid, and you feel every shield bash. Tactical positioning matters because you can use terrain, forests, and the day-night cycle to ambush enemies. The single-player campaigns across different factions are surprisingly cinematic, full of betrayal and brutal glory. At $4.64, you're getting a game that makes history visceral. I've lost hours just watching my warriors slaughter a Saxon camp. Quern Undying Thoughts is the closest thing to that mist feeling I've had in years. You wash up on a mysterious island full of ancient machinery and nothing is explained. You poke, you prod, you scribble diagrams in a real notebook, and eventually the logic behind the world clicks in your brain like a key turning. There's no hand-holding, just pure, rewarding puzzle solving across a hauntingly beautiful landscape. $7.48 for 15 to 20 hours of aha moments is borderline unfair. Eriksholm, The Stolen Dream. When Hana's brother vanishes, you're pulled into a Nordic noir mystery with hand-drawn art that looks like a living painting. The pacing is slow burn. This isn't an action game, but the writing is so sharp and the atmosphere so heavy with dread and longing that I couldn't put it down. It launched at $40. Seeing it sitting at $24 feels like the right moment to grab a narrative that'll linger in your head for weeks. Some games you play, this one you chew on. Primal Planet takes the survival crafting loop and tosses you into a prehistoric world where dinosaurs actually hunt. The AI is smarter than you'd expect. Prey runs, raptors stalk from tall grass, and a T-Rex will absolutely investigate a noise. I spent one terrifying night hiding in a bush with a half-finished spear, just listening to footsteps. For $8, you're paying for moments of genuine tension that remind you why survival games hooked you in the first place. Crow Country is the lost survival horror gem that looks like it crawled right out of your dusty PlayStation collection. Fixed cameras, tank controls you can actually tolerate, and an abandoned theme park that's somehow cheerful and terrifying at the same time. Conserving ammo is crucial. You'll be counting bullets like a lifeline. For $6, you're basically paying for a night of genuine chills and the joy of solving puzzles while something breathes behind a clown mural. ELDERBORN is what happens when you inject Doom's combat philosophy into Conan the Barbarian's body. You're kicking enemies into spikes, parrying with brutal timing, and headbanging to a metal soundtrack that could wake the dead. The combat is all skill. Button mashing gets you killed fast. $14 isn't the deepest discount on this list, but the adrenaline per second ratio is off the charts. You'll finish a fight, realize your heart is pounding, and immediately look for the next skull to crack. Wuppo is one of those games you accidentally discover and then evangelize about to all your friends. You're a little blob kicked out of your home, thrust into a massive, weird world with absurd characters and puzzles that are way smarter than the cute art style suggests. It's funny, it's surprisingly deep, and I've never played anything like it. $4.34 for a 20-hour adventure that'll make you laugh and scratch your head in equal measure this is exactly the kind of purchase that makes Steam sales magical. Armello turns fairy tale critters into scheming politicians. This digital board game has you playing as a wolf, rabbit, or bear clawing for the throne through strategy, spell cards, and absolutely devious backstabbing. I've had sessions where a friend was one turn from victory and then got cursed into oblivion by 3 players at once. Screaming ensued. $10 for a gorgeous game that turns game night into a royal bloodshed is a no-brainer. The Binding of Isaac, yeah, this one's a classic, but at $1.49, if you somehow haven't played it, you're missing the roguelite that defined thousands of hours for an entire generation. It's twisted, gross, and endlessly surprising. The item combos create runs so broken you'll be cackling, and then the next run will humble you instantly. The sheer content here is staggering. For less than a soda, you're buying a game that might eat your whole summer.
Cozy Grove is Animal Crossing with ghosts, but somehow with more heart. You're a spirit scout helping spectral bears find peace one small daily session at a time. The hand-drawn art is like a warm hug, and the writing sneaks up on you. One minute you're pitching fish, the next you're tearing up over a bear's lost love. $3.74 for a game that becomes a gentle daily ritual is absurd. Just don't be surprised when a ghost bear wrecks you emotionally.